Welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College. Standard 6 History, Chapter number 5 Religious Trends in Ancient India, Part 4. Welcome students. Today we are going to see the remaining part of this lesson, that is Chapter 5 Religious Trends in Ancient India. We will proceed towards the next point, that is Buddhism, that is 5.2 Buddhism. The next religion is Buddhism. Gautam Buddha was the founder of Buddhism. Gautam Buddha, his lifespan is from 563 BCE to 483 BCE. That is, BCE means before the birth of Jesus Christ, before Common Era. Gautam Buddha, he was born at Lumbini, which is in Nepal. He was born at Lumbini in Nepal. Gautam Buddha's father name was Shuddhodana and mother's name was Maya Devi. Gautam Buddha's birth name was Siddhartha, but later on he was called as Gautam Buddha. But his birth name was Siddhartha. He was called by the name Siddhartha. Gautam Buddha had attained knowledge of human life, and that is why he was known as Buddha. That is why he was known as Buddha. Because he had attained the knowledge means what? He had gained the knowledge. And how did he gain the knowledge? Through rigorous tapasya and meditation. Through rigorous tapasya and meditation, he gained the knowledge of human life, and that is why he was known as Buddha. Now he wanted to know, Gautam Buddha wanted to know that why there is sorrow and suffering in human life. Why there is sorrow and suffering in human life. He wanted an answer for this question. So to find the answer to this question, he left his home and the comforts. He left his home, comforts and luxuries. Why he left his home? Because he wanted to find an answer to the question. What is the question? Why there is sorrow and suffering in human life? So children, on Vaishakha Purnima, this is a day, Vaishakha Purnima, Gautam Buddha was sitting in deep meditation under a peepal tree at Uruvela, which is near to the city of Gaya in Bihar. So he was sitting in deep meditation under a peepal tree at Uruvela, and this place is nearby to the city of Gaya in Bihar. And that is when he attained means gained, Bodhi enlightenment, or you can say the highest knowledge. He got an answer to his question which he was thinking about it. And what was the question, children? Why there is sorrow or suffering in human life? Sorrow means dukkha. Why there is dukkha in human life? Why there are dukkhas in human life? So to find out a question, he had a rigorous tapasya or deep meditation, and after deep meditation he attained the knowledge, or you can say he attained the highest knowledge, and that is why the tree under which he sat in deep meditation was known as Bodhi tree. That is a peepal tree, and that tree was known as the Bodhi tree, or it is called as Bodhi Vriksha. Vriksha is called as in Hindi. Tree is called as Vriksha in Hindi. Bodhi Vriksha. And the place Uruvela is called as Bodh Gaya. Okay. What is the place Uruvela? It was called as Bodh Gaya. Why? Because Bodh means Buddha, and Gaya because it is the Uruvela is a city of It is a place which is nearby the city of Gaya. That is why it was called as Uruvela was called as Bodh Gaya. Gautam Buddha delivered his first sermon. What is the meaning of sermon? Sermon means it is a lecture on religious concept, or you can say it is a talk on religious concept, or it is a teaching on religious concept. So it is a lecture on religious concept is called as a sermon. So Gautam Buddha delivered his first sermon at Sarnath near Varanasi. Sarnath near Varanasi. Now his teachings in the first sermon was termed as Dhamma. His teachings in the first sermon was termed as Dhamma. Now, in this sermon also, during this sermon, he set in motion the wheel of Dhamma. Set in motion means to rotate the wheel round and round. Rotate the wheel round and round is called as setting in motion. So he set in motion the wheel of Dhamma in this sermon. In this sermon, he set in motion the wheel of Dhamma, and that is why this event was known as Dhamma Chp.5. In which language? Pali. In Pali, it was called as this event. That means this first sermon was named as Dhamma Chp.5 in Pali language, and in Sanskrit it is called as Dharma Chakra Pravartan. In Sanskrit language it was called as, or it is known as, Dharma Chakra Pravartan. Gautam Buddha travelled on foot for about 45 years to preach Dhamma. Now what is the meaning of preach? Preach means to teach, and Dhamma means Dharma. Dharma means religion. So he travelled on foot for about 45 years and taught people about religion. He preached people in people's language, that is Pali, so that it will be easy for them to understand whatever religious things or concepts they are teaching. In Buddhism, concept of taking refuge in Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha was very important, and this was known as Trisharan. It was known as Trisharan. The essence of Dhamma, that is Dharma, which Gautam Buddha expounded is as follows. That is Arya Satyas. It is also called as Noble Truths. There are 4 truths at the root of all human affairs. They are called Noble Truths or Arya Satyas. First one is Dukkha, that is suffering. There is suffering in human life. This means each and every human being is having dukkha, is having some suffering. Second one is the cause of dukkha. There is a cause of suffering. That means there is some reason behind our dukkha. That means each and every person is having some dukkha or suffering. That means behind that dukkha there is some reason. Third one is dukkha nivaran. Nivaran means what? Solution. Dukkha nivaran, how to find a solution to the problem. It is possible to end suffering. That means we can find solution to our problems. And the fourth one is pratipad. Pratipad means the way. This way leads to the end of suffering. This is the way of good conduct. It is known as the Ashtangic or Eightfold Path. Now Pratipad is a way, and this way, it is a way which leads to the end of suffering. That means this way is going to end your suffering. And what is that way? That means which way you are going to follow so that you can end up with your suffering. That is the way of good conduct. You have to have your behavior should be good. You should have good behavior. And when you will have a good behavior, definitely your problems will be ended. It is known as Ashtangik or Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path. Now, the Eightfold Path means it is a way which leads to the end of suffering. It is a way which will end up your suffering. And that way means what? You have to have your good conduct. So now what comes in your good conduct? What are all the things which you have to inculcate in you? They are as follows. First one is right view. The knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. You should have the knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. And what are those Four Noble Truths? First one is Dukkha. Second is the cause of Dukkha. Third is the Dukkha Nivaran. And fourth is Pratipad. That is a way. Second is right resolve. Giving up cruelty, etc. So you have to give up your cruelty. You should not be cruel towards others. You should have mercy. Third is right speech. Refrain from telling lies, telling tales, rude, harsh and meaningless speech. That means you should not tell lies. You should stop telling false stories to others. Then you should not be rude and harsh towards others. And you should use good language. You should use good language. You should use meaningful language. Your speech should be meaningful. It should not be meaningless. The fourth one is right conduct. That is right behavior. Stay away from killing animals, stealing and uncontrolled behavior. You should not kill animals because animals are also a part of nature. They also have the right to live. So you should not kill them. Stealing and uncontrolled behavior. You should not steal anything. You should have your controlled behavior. Fifth one is right livelihood. Using only the proper means of livelihood. That means whatever way you're using to earn your livelihood, that means the money which you earn for having your food, and also fulfilling other needs. So whatever way you're using, it should be a right way. You should never use a wrong way to earn money. Sixth one is right effort. Making effort to avoid wrong acts, giving up wrong acts, undertaking and maintaining good acts. That means you should go for right things. Seventh one is right mindfulness. Being mindful to remove passions and concentrating on trying to understand one's own feelings and mind. You should understand others and their feelings. Eighth one is right concentration. Experiencing deep meditation with concentration. You should meditate. You should do meditation, and that meditation should be with concentration. Deep meditation with concentration. Students, now we will stop here and we will see the remaining part of this lesson in the next video, that is chapter number 5, Religious Trends in Ancient India, part 5. Thank you.